Today, I want to talk to you about the power of focusing on your own life in a way that is not prideful or selfish. So many people are exhausted, discouraged, and confused, not because they lack ability, but because their attention is scattered. They try to please everyone, keep up with everyone, and compare themselves to everyone. I want to be very clear today. This is not about being self-centered or ignoring the needs of others. It is about stewardship. God has given you one life, one mind, one heart, and one specific assignment. If you do not take responsibility for that, no one else can do it for you. Many times, God tells people to tend to their own growth. Too often, we look at other people to get their approval. We watch what they are doing, how fast they are moving, and how blessed they seem. Without realizing it, we lose sight of our own path. God never asked you to run someone else's race. He wants you to live your life, even if it looks different. Distraction is one of the enemy's greatest tools. If you can be unfocused, you can be slowed down. Things will try to get you offended, worried, or second-guessing yourself the moment you take your eyes off your goal. Your mind deserves peace. Some thoughts are just distractions dressed up as concerns. Focusing also means understanding that your value does not come from the opinions of people. If you let others define you, they will control you. When you know who you are in God, you do not need human validation. You have divine approval. God says you are chosen, equipped, and capable. When you focus on that truth, your confidence begins to rise naturally. So many people are tired because they try to live up to expectations God never put on them. You have more strength to give when you are in the right places. Growth takes time. God is developing your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for what is ahead. If you rush ahead of God, you might get there faster, but you won't be ready. Often we are bothered by other people because we are insecure. That insecurity comes from losing focus. Confidence comes from knowing who you are and where you are going. You cannot be distracted by someone else's applause or their progress. Stop blaming circumstances and believe that God can use anything to move you forward. Opinions can make noise instead of giving direction. God speaks in stillness. When you quiet the distractions and focus inward, clarity will come. You may not get all the answers at once, but you will get enough peace to take the next step. There will be seasons when it feels like others are passing you by, getting promoted or getting recognized while you feel forgotten. But focusing on yourself reminds you that delay is not denial. God's timing is intentional. He knows exactly when you are ready. If you stay focused, faithful, and patient, what is meant for you will not pass you by. Focusing on yourself also means giving yourself grace. You are human. Do not quit on yourself. Get back up. The enemy would love for you to focus on your flaws so that you forget your strengths, but God sees the whole picture. He sees who you are becoming. When you focus on your daily progress, you see small breakthroughs over time. Thinking about your integrity and growth turns simple habits into something powerful. You are building a foundation for the blessings God has for you. I truly believe that some of the greatest breakthroughs happen when you stop looking at others and focus on God's work in you. As you focus, you will see your confidence and faith deepening. You won't feel the need to explain yourself to everyone. You won't feel pressured to prove anything. You know that as long as you are honoring God and growing daily, you are exactly where you need to be. Focus is not about isolation, it is about alignment. When you are aligned, nothing can stop what God has already planned for your life. When you begin to silence distractions and comparisons, something powerful happens inside you. Your mind becomes clearer, your heart becomes lighter, and your spirit becomes stronger. One of the biggest reasons people struggle today is not a lack of talent, but a lack of focus. We live in a world that constantly pulls at our attention. Social media, opinions, and endless noise compete for your focus every single day. If you are not intentional, you will spend your life reacting instead of becoming who God created you to be. Comparison is especially dangerous because it looks harmless. You tell yourself you are just observing or keeping up, but slowly, comparison steals your joy. You start measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel. You see their success, but not their sacrifice. God never intended for you to live your life looking sideways. When you compare, you lose clarity. When you focus, you gain confidence. God designed you with a unique calling and a unique pace. When you compare your beginning to someone else's middle, you will always feel behind. But the truth is, you are right on schedule according to God's plan. When you silence comparison, you free yourself from pressure God never put on you. You stop rushing and start trusting. Distractions don't always come as bad things. Sometimes they are just good opportunities that are not God's opportunities. If the enemy cannot destroy your purpose, he will try to distract you from it. He will keep you busy, but unproductive. That is why focusing on yourself is so critical. It brings you back to what God spoke to you, not what everyone else is saying. God is always speaking, but often we are too distracted to listen. Our minds are full of worry and fear. We replay conversations and overanalyze situations, but God speaks in peace. When you quiet the noise, direction comes. You may not hear a loud voice, but you will feel a settled confidence and a sense of clarity. Many people are confused because they are listening to too many voices. One says do this, another says do that. But when you focus on yourself, you stop needing everyone's approval. You understand that God's direction for your life may not make sense to everyone, and it doesn't have to. The more you compare, the more you doubt yourself. You start questioning your calling and forget how far you have come. But when you silence comparison, you start appreciating your own progress. You recognize the growth God has already done in you. Some seasons are meant for hidden growth. People miss great opportunities because they are focused on being noticed instead of being faithful. They are so busy watching others that they stop working on themselves. Focus brings discipline, and discipline brings growth. Focusing also means protecting your energy. Not every noise deserves a response. Not every critic deserves your attention. Some people will misunderstand you no matter what you do. If you focus on pleasing them, you will lose your way. When you focus on your purpose, you are not easily offended. You don't let small things steal your peace. You understand that staying focused is more important than being right. Comparison can even affect your faith. You see God blessing someone else and you start asking, what about me? But when you silence comparison, you realize that God has more than enough blessings. Someone else's success doesn't delay yours. God is not limited. Focusing on yourself helps you trust God's timing. When distractions are silenced, your confidence grows from the inside. You don't need constant likes or praise. You know who you are even when no one is watching. That kind of confidence is unshakable. Focusing on yourself also helps you manage your time better. You stop wasting hours on things that don't matter. You become more intentional with your thoughts. You choose growth over comfort and discipline over instant gratification. There will always be moments when you feel tempted to look around and compare. That is normal, but you don't have to stay there. Over time, peace becomes your default. Silencing distractions doesn't mean hiding from the world. It means being selective about what deserves your attention. Jesus himself often went to quiet places to pray. If even he needed quiet time to stay aligned, how much more do we? When you focus on yourself, you become more effective in helping others. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you are grounded, you have something real to give. I believe many people are one decision away from a breakthrough. The decision to stop comparing and start focusing, stop scrolling and start building, stop watching and start becoming. God has placed everything you need inside you. A lot of people are waiting for life to change before they change. But real transformation happens when you focus on yourself, consistently. God works through a process, and that process is fueled by daily investment. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you become. How you think determines how you feel and act. If you allow negative thoughts to dominate, they will limit you. But when you focus on renewing your mind, you start anticipating God's goodness. Focusing on yourself means taking responsibility for your thoughts. You don't have to accept every negative thought that crosses your mind. You remind yourself that God has already equipped you. Over time, faith becomes your default. Investing in your mindset also means feeding your mind with the right things. If you consume negativity and fear, your spirit will feel heavy. When you focus on yourself, you choose words and messages that build you up. Character is another great investment. Talent may open doors, but character keeps them open. God is interested in who you are becoming. When you focus on character, you choose integrity even when it is inconvenient. You choose humility and consistency even when no one is watching. These quiet decisions shape a life of lasting impact. Focusing on yourself means you stop blaming others for your reactions and take ownership of your attitude. You may not control what happens, but you control who you become through it. Shortcuts might give quick results, but they won't give lasting peace. When you focus on being the right person, God will bring the right opportunities at the right time. Purpose requires daily investment. It unfolds as you stay faithful step by step. Many people are frustrated because they are chasing a future calling without being faithful in the present. Focusing on yourself means you do what you can with what you have right now. Every small act of obedience is preparing you for something greater. When you invest in your purpose, you stop measuring success by speed and start measuring it by alignment. Ask yourself if you are becoming better and honoring God with your gifts. Daily investment requires discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving. Small habits practiced daily will take you further than occasional bursts of effort. When you invest in yourself daily, you also learn patience. You understand that strong foundations are not built quickly. God is not in a hurry, and you don't have to be either. What He is building in you is meant to last. Also, align your words with your purpose. What you speak over your life matters. If you speak hope and faith, you activate what God has placed inside you. As you invest in your mindset, character, and purpose, you will handle challenges differently. You won't give up as quickly because you have an inner strength that comes from daily growth. People may not notice your growth at first, and that is okay. This season is about becoming who God called you to be. When the time is right, what you have been doing in private will show in public. Investing in yourself increases your capacity to handle more blessing and influence. As you grow internally, you make room for things externally. There will be seasons when it feels like you are giving more than you are receiving. You are working and staying disciplined, but results seem slow. Do not get discouraged. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. God sees every effort and every quiet decision to keep going. When you focus on yourself this way, you stop needing constant reassurance. You gain a quiet confidence. You are no longer shaken by delays because you know you are moving forward even when progress is invisible. Daily investment is not glamorous, but it is transformational. Choose growth, choose faith, and choose discipline when distractions call your name. When you focus on your growth, you begin to see that your potential is not tied to your past. Many people stay stuck because they are looking backward at their mistakes or the things they lost. But focusing on yourself means you start looking forward at what you can build today. You realize that every day is a fresh opportunity to invest in your spirit. You stop letting the labels other people gave you define your future. You decide that you are no longer going to be a victim of your history, but a student of your future. This journey of focus also changes how you handle your relationships. When you are not focused, you tend to look to other people to fill gaps in your heart that only God can fill. This leads to disappointment and frustration. But when you are focused on your own spiritual health and purpose, you bring a whole person to the table. You are no longer looking for people to complete you. You are looking for ways to contribute to them. You become a source of light instead of a person who is constantly searching for it. You find that you attract the right people when you are focused on being the right person. It is also important to remember that focusing on yourself is not a one-time event. It is a daily practice. Some days you will feel strong and clear, and other days the noise of the world will feel very loud. On those days, you have to be even more intentional. You have to step away from the phone, step away from the crowd, and remind yourself of your why. Why are you working on your character? Why are you guarding your peace? It is because you have a calling that is too important to waste on trivial things. You are protecting the seeds God planted in you so they can grow into a harvest that helps many people. Finally, keep in mind that your progress might be quiet, but it is real. Just because there is no music playing and no one is cheering doesn't mean you aren't winning. Some of the most significant changes happen in the silence of your own heart. When you choose to be kind when you are tired, or when you choose to stay positive when things go wrong, you are winning. You are becoming a person of substance. Trust that as you keep your focus sharp and your heart aligned with God, the results will eventually speak for themselves. You don't have to announce your progress. Your life will show it. As you move forward, you must understand that focusing on yourself requires you to set healthy boundaries. You cannot say yes to every request and still have the energy to say yes to your purpose. Many people feel guilty for saying no, but remember that every time you say yes to a distraction, you are saying no to your growth. Protecting your time is not about being rude. It is about being responsible with the life you have been given. You are the only person who can decide what is allowed into your space and your schedule. Another key part of this journey is learning to celebrate your small wins. We often wait for a massive breakthrough before we feel successful, but true transformation is found in the small steps. If you controlled your temper today, that is a win. If you chose to read a book instead of scrolling through social media, that is progress. If you prayed when you felt like worrying, you are growing. These small victories build the momentum you need to face bigger challenges later. When you acknowledge your own progress, you build the inner strength to keep going when the path gets difficult. You must also be careful about the voice you listen to in your own head. Sometimes the loudest critic is not someone else, but the person in the mirror. You have to train yourself to speak to yourself with the same kindness and faith that God uses. Replace the thought, "I can't do this," with, "I am learning how to do this." Shift your focus from what is wrong with you to what is right with God. He is not finished with you yet, and His grace is enough to cover your mistakes as you grow. In time, your focus will produce a harvest that everyone can see, even if you started in secret. You will find that you are more stable, more joyful, and more at peace than those who are still chasing every trend and every opinion. Your life becomes a testimony of what happens when a person decides to be faithful to their own path. Keep your eyes on the goal. Keep your heart open to God's lead, and don't look back. You are moving towards something greater than you can imagine, and your focus is the key that opens that door. One of the most powerful things that happens when you stay focused is that you stop living in survival mode and start living in vision mode. Most people spend their days just trying to get through the hours, reacting to problems and putting out fires. But when you invest in yourself, you begin to see beyond today. You start to ask what kind of person you want to be 5 years from now. This shift in perspective changes your energy. You aren't just working a job or doing chores, you are building a legacy. Your daily actions take on a deeper meaning because you know they are connected to a larger plan that God has for you. You also have to realize that staying focused means you will eventually outgrow certain environments and mindsets. As you improve, you may find that the things you used to enjoy or the conversations you used to have no longer satisfy you. This isn't because you think you are better than others, but because your spirit is hungry for higher things. Do not be afraid of the changing seasons in your life. Sometimes God thins out your circle so He can thicken your focus. It is okay to be a little more private while you are in a season of intense growth. The fruit of your labor will eventually be public, but the roots must grow deep in the dark. Focusing on yourself also allows you to master your emotions rather than being a slave to them. When someone is rude to you or life takes an unexpected turn, a focused person isn't easily knocked off balance. You have a deep well of peace to draw from because you've spent time building your inner world. You learn to observe your feelings without letting them drive your actions. This emotional maturity is a superpower in a world where everyone is reacting and exploding. It gives you the clarity to make wise decisions even when everyone else is panicking. As you conclude this day or this season, remind yourself that the best investment you can ever make is in your relationship with God and your own personal development. Money can be lost and people can leave, but the character and wisdom you build within yourself stay forever. You are a work in progress, and the artist is still painting. Trust the process, stay in your lane, and keep your heart pure. When you look back, you won't regret the things you missed while you were focused. You will only be grateful for the strength and peace you gained. When you decide to stay the course, you will notice that your focus becomes a shield against the pressure of time. Many people live with a constant sense of urgency, feeling like they are running out of time to achieve their dreams or prove their worth. But when you are centered, you understand that God's timing is perfect. You stop trying to force doors open that aren't ready, and you stop stressing over things you cannot control. This inner quietness allows you to be fully present in the moment. Instead of worrying about next year, you focus on doing your best today. This level of presence is where true excellence is born. As your focus sharpens, you will also find that you become a better listener to your own spirit. Most people are so busy listening to the noise of the world that they can no longer hear their own intuition or the gentle leading of God. By silencing the external voices and focusing on your growth, you regain your internal compass. You start to recognize which opportunities are right for you and which ones are just distractions in disguise. You develop a holy confidence that doesn't need to check with everyone else before making a move. You trust the wisdom that has been growing inside you through your daily discipline. You must also be prepared for the fact that not everyone will understand your new focus. Some might call you distant or think you have changed too much. The truth is, you have changed, and that is a good thing. You are no longer willing to settle for a life of distraction. You are no longer willing to give your precious energy to gossip or drama. When you value yourself enough to focus on your mission, you naturally lose interest in things that don't add value to your life. Be okay with being misunderstood by those who are comfortable staying where they are. Your goal is not to fit in. Your goal is to fulfill the purpose you were created for. Finally, remember that the goal of focusing on yourself is ultimately to be a greater blessing to the world. A focused, healthy, and grounded person is much more useful than a scattered and stressed person. When you have worked on your character, when you have mastered your mind, and when you have found your peace, you become a pillar of strength for others. You aren't just improving for your own sake. You are becoming the person who can lead, inspire, and help those around you. Your personal growth is the gift you give to everyone you encounter. Keep going, stay steady, and watch how your life begins to reflect the beauty of a focused soul. As you deepen your focus, you will start to see that true strength is not about how much you can handle at once, but how much you can ignore. We are taught to believe that doing more makes us more valuable, but the opposite is often true. Being able to look at 1,000 different options and choose the one that truly matters is a sign of maturity. This kind of focus simplifies your life. It clears away the mental clutter that causes anxiety. When you know exactly what your priorities are, You stop feeling overwhelmed by the demands of the world. You move through your day with a sense of calm authority because you are no longer a slave to the urgent. You are a servant to the important. You must also learn to be comfortable with the middle of the process. Most people love the excitement of a new beginning and the celebration of a big finish, but the middle is where the actual growth happens. This is the part that is often boring, repetitive, and lonely. It is the daily prayer, the daily study, and the daily choice to keep a good attitude when nothing seems to be changing. When you focus on yourself, you fall in love with the process rather than just the result. You realize that the person you are becoming in the middle is much more important than the prize you get at the end. God is using this quiet time to build muscles in your spirit that you will need for the mountains ahead. This focus also helps you reclaim your joy from the hands of others. If your happiness depends on how people treat you or how many likes you get, you will always be on an emotional roller coaster. But when your focus is internal and rooted in your faith, your joy becomes stable. You can have a bad day without having a bad life. You can handle a critic without losing your confidence. You understand that your peace is your own responsibility. No one can take it from you unless you give them the keys to your heart. By focusing inward, you lock the door to your peace and only allow in what is healthy and good. Eventually, you will find that your life has a certain rhythm to it that is uniquely yours. You stop trying to match the beat of the world and start walking to the heartbeat of God. This alignment brings a level of satisfaction that success alone could never provide. You aren't just achieving goals, you are fulfilling a destiny. You begin to see the beauty in your own story, including the parts that were hard or painful. You see that every experience was a tool used to shape you. As long as you keep your focus, you will keep rising. You are becoming a masterpiece of grace and discipline, and the best part of your journey is still waiting for you. As you continue this journey, you will realize that a focused life is also a life of great endurance. Most people give up because they look at how far they still have to go, but you must learn to look at how far God has already brought you. When you focus on your own progress, you develop the stamina to finish what you started. You understand that greatness is not about being the fastest, it is about being the most consistent. Even when you feel tired, your focus acts like a second wind, reminding you that your work has a purpose and your effort is never wasted. You are not just running a race, you are building a life that can withstand any storm. This focus also allows you to handle success with humility and failure with grace. When you finally reach the goals you have been working toward, you won't be filled with pride because you know it was your daily discipline and God's favor that got you there. Likewise, if you hit a wall or face a setback, you won't be crushed because your identity is not tied to a single event. You know that a failure is just a lesson in disguise. Because you are focused on growth, you can pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and keep moving. You see every experience as more fuel for your fire, making you even stronger for the next chapter. You will also find that as you focus more on your inner world, your outer world becomes much more peaceful. You stop trying to control people and situations that are outside of your reach. You learn the power of letting go. You realize that you don't have to win every argument or have the last word. Your energy is too valuable to be spent on battles that don't matter. This selective focus gives you a sense of freedom that most people never experience. You walk through life with a light heart because you aren't carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You are only carrying what God has assigned to you, and His yoke is easy and His burden is light. Ultimately, the goal of this focus is to leave a mark on the world that only you can leave. There are things you can do, people you can reach, and problems you can solve that no one else can. By investing in yourself daily, you are polishing the gift that God gave the world when He created you. You are becoming a person of impact who leads by example. People will look at your life and see the fruit of focus, and they will be inspired to start their own journey. Keep your eyes fixed on the horizon. Keep your heart anchored in truth, and keep moving forward. Your future is bright, and as long as you stay focused, there is no limit to how far you can go.